Hello and welcome to our channel, Sandbox Bullies. My buddy Connor and I started this channel to showcase an animatic series of the same name. However, we are still putting on the finishing touches, so in the meantime, we plan to share our thoughts on various topics in the entertainment industry. So if this video doesn't quite suit your interest, be on the lookout for a video that's right for you in the near future. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a beat, and if you like this video, please like it and share it with someone that you've enjoyed Pixar films with. Today's video is on a topic that is very close and dear to my heart. We're going to dive deep into the true meaning behind Pixar's Monsters University. Whenever people ask me what my favorite Pixar film is, I always say, it's gotta be Monsters University. And they always reply with, why? And to be honest, I wasn't really sure until one day it all just sort of clicked. So today I'm going to share my thoughts and reasons for why MU is my favorite Pixar film. Now you might be thinking, Monsters U is not as emotionally draining as Up or Toy Story 3, nor is the plot as complex as The Incredibles or Finding Nemo. Well, long answer short, it gave me a message I needed to hear right before I started my own college career. It's a simple lesson of teamwork, but I believe that the film expands upon this lesson in some pretty unique and interesting ways. So today I'm hoping to give a new lens to view the movie in for people that didn't enjoy it as much as I did the first time. Now, spoiler alert, my thoughts are not the correct ones. They're just my opinions. And if a different Pixar film was able to hit you as hard as this one did for me, that's awesome. Comment down below which Pixar film had the biggest impact on you. It's great that we can disagree, but let's do so peacefully. To start off, I'm going to postulate that this film claims that there are two main types of successful people, or in this case, monsters. Firstly, there are those who are naturally endowed, and second, there are the hardworking individuals. Think about it. Look at anyone who made it into the major leagues for any given sport. Were they naturally endowed with talent, the right build, or the money that could buy the best equipment and coaching available? Or did they have to work and train harder than anybody else? The answer is most likely a bit of both. However, this film uses the extreme cases of these two traits with Mike Wazowski and James P. Sullivan. I relate to Mike more than any other character in this film because he's a devoted student who is future-oriented and a detailed planner, but suffers from people constantly telling him that he can't do it. My issue growing up was low self-esteem and confidence, so instead of others picking on me, it was really me who was bullying myself. Middle school and high school are awkward times for a lot of us, what can I say? But I'm a graduate student now, and I'm here to tell you it gets a lot easier. Throughout the film, we see what kinds of issues these two types of people face and the results that they yield, especially in the first act leading up to the fall semester final exam. Mike is constantly optimistic, working hard to achieve his dreams despite being told no his whole life. And Sully is rather lazy and overconfident due to being told yes his entire life. Mike is told he isn't scary, and thus to get into MU's scare program, he had to work harder than anyone. While James, being the Sullivan that he is, was naturally endowed with his scary body and ferocious roar. We see this as Mike works hard throughout the semester by constantly studying, picking up a job to earn some money on the side, and limiting his partying. However, Sully is living it up at college and blowing off most of his classes. He's barely passing the tests and he doesn't even bring a pencil to his class. Yet in the beginning, his scaring professor fails to see through this facade and deems him a successful student just due to his roar. The next point I want to talk about is actually a book, my favorite book, The Tao of Pooh. This is the book I read whenever I feel overwhelmed, stressed, or depressed. If you've never heard of this book, it explains the concepts and ideals of Taoism through the characters of Winnie the Pooh. In essence, Taoism is a way of thought and a way to live life based on the teachings and writings of Lao Tzu going as far back as 500 BCE. The book goes through many awesome examples of Lao Tzu's teachings, but in the end, its main lesson is that everyone's life follows a certain unique path. And the thing most helpful to us is to follow this path. Mike consistently goes against his path, and it takes the entire movie for him to realize what his path truly is. And this is normal. College is a time to experiment and find out what makes you, you. Sully seemed to have an understanding that there is a natural order to things. After the cute picture fiasco on the quad, he tells Mike,
"You need to stop trying. You can train monsters like this all you want, but you can't change who they are."
He shows he has some knowledge of the way, but he misinterprets it. He thinks that every scarer has to have the same path, but that just isn't the case. And it wasn't until Mike took his OK fraternity brothers on a field trip to Monsters Inc. that they realized everyone is different. And our paths utilize our unique traits to our advantage. No one is the same at Monsters Inc. Some look super scary, while others rely on their technique to scare masterfully. And in the climactic scene towards the end of the film, Mike told Sully exactly that.
Are you ready? Mike, I can't. Yes, you can. Stop being a Sullivan and start being you.
Mike uses his creativity and brainpower to come up with unique ways to apply his team's traits. They learned that talent or hard work alone won't cut it. They needed to work together if they were ever going to win the scare games. Now, this all isn't to say we are destined to be stuck on this path with no ability to wander off. This is where the movie somewhat deviates by accounting for passion. Free will dictates we can follow our passion even if it lay off of this path. Mike is extremely passionate about being part of the scare team for Monsters Inc. The scene that I think best depicts his passion is how depressed he gets when he thinks that his dream has now become unobtainable after being kicked out of the scare program. He is so passionate about becoming a scare that he even risks his entire college education to get back into the scare program. And this ignites the main part of the plot. However, he needed his experiences at college to learn he isn't meant to be a scarer, but he also learns he doesn't need to be a scarer to be part of the scare team. In other words, his destination never changed, but his path inevitably did. He finally learned at the end that he isn't a scary looking monster and begins to second guess himself. This is where we get the incredibly moving lake scene, where Sully and Mike truly become more than frat brothers or partners. They become friends.
You were right. They weren't scared of me. I did everything right. I wanted it more than anyone. And I thought if I wanted it enough, I could show everybody that Mike Wazowski is something special.
I believe this is the exact moment where Mike learns that being scared is the first step to being brave. He then uses his know-how of scaring, which came from his hard work ethic, and the skill and body of Sully to pull off the biggest scare of all time. Mike and Sully had at last become the power duo that we see in Monsters Inc., the film. And this is where the lesson kicks in. College is tough, but you don't have to do it alone. And if you think you're alone, reach out to someone. Chances are there's someone that's feeling the same way. College is where you'll make lasting friendships, learn more than you ever have, and work harder than you ever needed to. I mean, if you've made it this far and even gotten into college, you're already a success in my book. I went into college thinking I'm going to get in, get my degree, and get out. And the first semester, I was all alone just like Mike, until I realized I did not need to do it alone. So I joined a frat similar to Uzma Kappa, a bunch of awesome nerdy guys like myself, and I was able to find solace on campus. And when I went back to rewatch MU that same year, I felt silly that I didn't realize this lesson staring me right in the face. At the beginning of the film, Mike refused to use teamwork to win because he thought he could carry the team all by himself, and Sully had the same mentality. But beginning with the library challenge, Mike starts to see the rewards for working together. And at the big leagues field trip, Mike and Sully finally understand that they can be more successful working together than they ever could be working alone. And once I had realized that for myself, college became much easier. I had made a habit to make a friend in every class I had so that I could have a homework buddy, and found that not being alone was far more comforting. There are two main traits in successful people: the amount of talent and resources you are endowed with, and the amount of effort you put into accomplishing your goals. However, even the most endowed people who work harder than anyone don't become the successes they grow to be all on their own. We all need help, and Monsters University tells its viewers exactly that. You don't need to do it alone. Whether you're rich or poor, big or small, there is strength in numbers, and everyone is looking for a friend to help carry that load. And no matter which trait you lean more towards, I want you to leave today knowing that your success isn't defined by it. Follow your passion and try to find others who have similar goals. There's an old adage that says you should always surround yourself with people who are better than you. If you're hanging around bad people, they're going to start bringing you down. But if you surround yourself with good people, they're going to be pulling you up. So stay passionate, stay diligent, and understand that not every bump in the road is you wandering off your path. Sometimes we're on the wrong path to begin with. Thanks, everybody.